Hello and welcome you all for the next type of experimental design. Here we are going to look into this particular experiment type RCBD, that is randomized control block design. Here in addition what we have seen in the previous one RCT, randomized control trial, we have seen only one factor. We will be able to uh, put it in the experimental design and we can analyze the result. Here we will be having one more factor. You can add additional factors, not only one factor. So there are certain factors you may not be able to control, and their influence we assume that it may not be so much negligible, but it exists inherently without being controlled. You can't control that. So what we do is we create something called as block. Hence you will have factors more than one. Now to identify what is what, we have some terminology here: primary factor and a nuisance factor. Nuisance factor, you can also call it as disturbance factor. Primary factor, also known as design factor or a control factor or a treatment factor, but usually we call it as a primary factor. Design factor, control factor, or a treatment factor. The difference between primary and nuisance, two different things. The difference is that primary factor is the factor that you are concerned with, your interest, your choice of factor. Nuisance factor is the one which we are talking here, something that you cannot control. You assume that it may not have influence, but you can't control that its presence. You assume that it's negligible, but you want to ascertain, you want to ensure that that factor's effect is zero. It has no effect on your result. You want to ascertain. In the previous RCT, it goes without your knowledge. Now, for example, let me take one simple example here, that I want to perform an experiment, as previous case, that is you have a drug, you want to identify the best dosage level. So dosage level 1, 2, 3, there we have taken it as treatment level 1, 2, 3, T1, T2, T3, three dosage levels taken. You have assigned it to randomly 8 experiment you had, and randomly assigned it to T1, T2 and T3. So factor is dosage level, treatment is dosage level. So that is your primary factor. Nuisance factor is you have simply taken the animal model and assigned it. Whether it is male or female, gender of that, male or female, you have not worried. Randomly you have selected and you have organized it. Now the problem is, it may have, that particular drug may have some adverse effect when it comes to male, or it may have some positive effect when it comes to male. Some effect may be there based on the gender, because it is a biological reaction. So there are many hormones and other things which may affect adversely or negatively, positively. Anyway, it may affect, possibilities there which you cannot control. So whether that particular influence is present or negligible, you want to ascertain. For that you will introduce something called as nuisance factor, gender. So gender is the nuisance factor. So the levels are, obviously they are the standard one classification factors, you can't change that. So male and female, so right. So you have two particular factors here. So your assumption is, usually your assumption is that particular block gender is having no effect at all. Now, when you come to the RCBD, the number of samples n, the number of samples n will be equal to levels of all the factors that you have taken. So, what level you have taken, multiply. You have to multiply it. For factor 1, how many levels you have taken? For factor 2, how many you have taken? You may be having k number of factors. All factors you have to multiply. In our previous case, this particular case you have taken, so primary level you have 3, right? T1, T2, T3, 3 levels are there. Nuisance factor is gender, so there are 2 levels, male and female. So it is 3 multiplied by 2, 3 into 2, so you will have 6 experimental units, minimum number of experimental unit you will have. So you will have to perform that way. So this is the minimum number of experiment. 8, the previous case 8 we have done. The minimum was 6 there. So each experiment to have 2 minimum. But here in addition you will have to assign one male and one female to T1, one male and one female to T2, one male and one female to T3. Individually you have to assign in this case. So the sample size is multiplication of levels of each size. So let us take one another example just to ascertain how it is represented in a block. When we represent it in a block, we'll represent with the levels with some numbers 1 2 3 or a b c alpha beta gamma, so that way you can identify it. Always the primary factor is assigned with the last x value. X1 x2 x3 forms our factor. So the last one is primary. The first ones are always nuisance, we assign them nuisance. So if there are three factors, nuisance x1, nuisance the next two, then third one, last one will be primary factor. So primary factor goes last. Now here you can write abcd, the level of x1, level of x2 can be written as alpha beta gamma delta. Earlier we had written t1 t2 t3, so some terminology you can use it. Now, this is how it goes on. K is equal to 2. Two factors are there. For L1 it is 3, L2 is equal to 4. So that means level of first nuisance factor is 3 level. We have taken A, then L2 it is 4. So 4 levels are there. So that is alpha, beta, gamma, delta. The nuisance factor x1, x2 is the primary factor. So this is how you can write. So block 1. So block 1 is all A's, block 2 all B's, block 3 all C's. You can see that 4 into 3, 12 experiment. So there are 12 experiments have to be conducted. One for the block 1, one for the block 2 and another for the block 3. For block 1, x1 A, all same value, same x1 you will be using, but 4 different x2s. So block 2 same B's, same repeat, this one repeats, right? So you can assemble this way in a diagonal matrix x2 versus x1. Observe this one, x2 is in the horizontal axis, x1 in the vertical axis. What is x1? It is a nuisance factor. X1 is the nuisance factor, x2 is the primary factor. Primary factor always we write in the horizontal axis. So vertical axis we write the nuisance factor. So third becomes third dimension, it becomes 3 dimensions. So it becomes very complicated when you go beyond 3 factors. That means 2 nuisance factor, if you take it, becomes a little more complicated. And if you look at the value here, a alpha, first experiment a into alpha, a alpha, second experiment a beta, third experiment a gamma, a delta. That means a represents x1, alpha represents x2. So first term represents nuisance factor, second term reference refers to a primary factor. So likewise it goes on. So there are 12 experiments, 12 blocks are there. So each block will have its own response variable. One outcome will be there for each. This is how we write the experimental design. So it goes on to the third dimension when you take more and more variables, nuisance factors. Most important disadvantage or important aspect that you need to see is the block must be homogeneous. So the 12 blocks what we have seen there, so the 12 blocks we have what we have seen here, 12 blocks all should be homogeneous. This is the experiment conducted on one model, one block, one second one, third one. So each experimental combination what you have taken, it should be uniform. Experimental condition, the model should be uniform. The model, if you this similar to what we have in RCT, you have the mean, you have the standard error, right, natural variation, and term due to your primary factor. Tau is for the primary factor, beta is for the block. So one extra term has come over that RCT. For RCT, block was not there, this beta is also not there. So it's a linear model. Linear model. This is the effect of factor, effect because of the block, effect of the natural variation over the mu. That is why your individual values are differing, varying. Whether treatment effect is important, block effect is important, or all are having within the natural variation, you want to analyze it. For that you will perform analysis of variance, ANOVA, as you done earlier. Now if you observe it carefully, now let me see this one, mu is supposed to be also all values supposed to be mu, but not so. Three terms are there. So t for the treatment, tau for the treatment, beta for the block, epsilon for the error. Which is greater we want to find out. That means error will take it as the natural variation, all are supposed to be natural, having natural variation, all the variation because of natural variation, it's a null hypothesis. No, it may not happen. The variation may be because of treatment, maybe because of block. So that is why you will get some amount of sum of squares of error, that is a variation will be there. We compare it with mean square errors. Now here f test we do two times we do the f test, one for the treatment versus error, treatment versus natural variation. Second one, another factor, block is nothing but our factor. Here we have written only one because we have only one factor. If you have two factor, it will come one more, block 2, block 1, block 2. If you have three nuisance factors, block 1, block 2, block 3, so it will increase. Since if you have only one block, only one nuisance factor, one block will be there. So the treatment versus error, you will compare it here, treatment versus error, MST versus MSC for the block, MSB versus MSC, that is block versus error. So error goes to the denominator. If this value is more than the critical value, significant. If this value is less than the critical value, it is insignificant. Based on this, we will identify whether the effect by treatment is significant, whether the effect by the block is important. You will identify. Ideally, our treatment should be effective for us, that is significant for us. Block, our original assumption is it's insignificant. Usually I assume that it's insignificant, I just want to assure it. If this becomes significant, that is observable result, important result for me. That is, if I say that I have taken gender as a nuisance factor, male and female, and I find that this F test is significant, this particular value is significant, what it means, the dosage form makes some difference in male and female. There is a significant difference between the responses. So that becomes an important observation for me. So that you can identify with the model and ANOVA. And important thing you need to notice, degrees of freedom. So this BT is nothing but the number of experiment, total number of experiment. T is the number of level for treatment, B is the number of level for the block. T into B, as I told you earlier, levels into level, multiply just the level, minus 1, total number of experiment minus 1 becomes the total degrees of freedom. Number of level for treatment minus 1 becomes the degrees of freedom for treatment. Number of level for the block, that is B, minus 1. So this you don't have to worry, total minus all other degrees of freedom, you take it, you get the degrees of freedom for the error. Calculation of SST, SSB, SSC and TSS, total sum of squares of errors, as we have done in the previous ANOVA calculation, it's in a similar way. In previous RCT, if you look at it, there was only one F test. Now you have got two F test. So in RCT case, it is one way ANOVA. You have only one F test, one way ANOVA. Here you have two F test, you call it as two way ANOVA. If you have more than two F tests, it's multiple ANOVA, MANOVA. Yes, that's the end of the this block design RCBD. Here we have seen important factors, primary and nuisance factor. We will be adding nuisance factor over and above the RCT design. Sample size will be the product of levels, and always the primary factor will be in the horizontal row, nuisance factors will be in the vertical, that is vertical direction, or you can have a multiple third dimensions also. So the most important thing is the block should be homogeneous. We write the model equation and perform the ANOVA. So there are two ANOVAs, two-way ANOVA. Yes, that's the end of this topic. Thank you.